Does your life feel nice and comfy? Are you content in your little shell? Maybe it's time to think about stepping outside of your comfort zone so that you can achieve those goals and dreams. Hi, if we haven't met before, I'm Shelley from Taming Frenzy. To me, comfort zones are a lot like ruts. If you think about it, they have a lot of similarities. It's easy to get into a rut, it's easy to get into a comfort zone. But they say that a rut turns into a grave if you refuse to get out of it. The same thing can be said for comfort zones. Think about it. When you're in a rut, things are familiar. You're comfy, you're cozy, you're warm. Things aren't coming at you that you can't handle. You know that you can handle whatever it is that comes up. Unfortunately, it also means that you're probably not growing and changing, or at least not very much. And sometimes we need to ask ourselves, are we really happy? Or are we just comfortable? If you want to live a full life, and if you've got goals and dreams that you want to achieve, then you've got to take some steps to get out of your comfort zone. If you're not convinced, here are 6 reasons why you need to get out of your comfort zone. Reason number 1, outside of your comfort zone is where all of the opportunities lie. Face it, it's unlikely that your dreams are going to come true while you're comfy and snug in your comfort zone. Those big goals and dreams that you may have, they're not just going to magically fall into your lap while you sit in your comfort zone. You're going to have to do something to make them happen. The second reason is that outside of your comfort zone is where growth happens. One of my favorite sayings is, growth occurs when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. Because let's be honest with ourselves, changing is kind of painful. It's easy and comfortable, and we don't experience any frustration or any pain when we stay in our comfort zone. But in order to grow, we're going to have to face some of that discomfort and deal with it. At some point in our life, if we're going to work towards achieving our goals and dreams that we have, then we're going to have to accept the fact that discomfort is part of the process. But we're also going to figure out that a little discomfort is worth it in the end. A third reason to get out of our comfort zone is this is where we test our limits and learn what it is that we're really capable of, because it's a place where we're going to go through some changes. Outside of our comfort zone is the only place where we can overcome our fears. We'll never overcome fears when we are snug as a bug in a rug, so to speak, and happy in our comfort zone. In fact, the first step outside of the comfort zone is the fear zone. But let's remember that fear is just an emotion. Fear is not necessarily reality. It's easy to exaggerate fear and to make fear seem like something that's much worse than it really is. And sometimes we get so afraid that we set ourselves up to not achieve something or to fail before we've even tried. Now, there's a difference in fears. Some fears truly are legitimate. There are things we definitely should be afraid of. For example, I live in Texas, right smack in the middle of rattlesnake country, and I'm one of those people who is scared silly by snakes, even though I hate to admit that. But that fear keeps me from doing something stupid, like sticking my hand into an area that I can't see where a rattlesnake might be making its home. It keeps me from getting bit, which legitimately is a concern because people die from rattlesnake bites. So when I talk about fears, I'm not talking about something that legitimately could lead to physical harm or, death or maiming us. Something else I'm legitimately afraid of is heights. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't go someplace if I know it's secure, even though I'm a little trepidatious, but you're probably not going to catch this girl jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. A fifth reason to get out of your comfort zone is this is where you develop self-confidence and learn to trust yourself. This is where we figure out that we're capable of more than we may have originally thought possible. When we write that book that's been in our head for a long time, or when we start that online business, we figure out that we're capable of more than we thought, and we learn that what was holding us back all along was us. We are often the biggest obstacle that we have to overcome. And finally, a good reason to get out of your comfort zone is this is where you develop a real sense of pride. One of my favorite sayings is that great things never came from comfort zones. Once you do something that you previously thought you couldn't, you gain the courage to try something else. And the next time you try something, it's not quite as scary as it was the first time that you tried. And when you achieve something, it's okay to be proud of yourself. That is not arrogance. That is simply acknowledging that you overcame a fear, that you took a step, and that you have grown personally. That is something to be celebrated. Convinced yet? Be sure to watch the next video in this series about the personal benefits that you will get by stepping outside of your comfort zone.